when you're a working mother, inevitably at some point, somebody is going to talk to you about the cost of childcare, and they're going to directly compare your salary to the cost of childcare. And they're going to say, does it really make sense for you to work? Like, why are you working? Childcare is so expensive. Shouldn't you just stay at home? And this is a question women constantly get, regardless of how much they're making, right? The second you become pregnant, people say, like, are you going to go back to work? Right? They want to know. And I've noticed this trend recently of male financial gurus across platforms, including LinkedIn, where they are posting math. Right? They will post this math equation of how much childcare costs, how much a car payment costs, how much a mortgage costs, how much groceries cost, house cleaning, etc. Right? They will add up all this math and say, you shouldn't be both working full time. Your wife should be a stay-at-home wife because you will save money, right? They're trying to position women leaving the workforce as a good financial decision for most families. And I came across this post on LinkedIn this morning. Somebody sent it to me, and this guy is doing the math, right? He's saying, hey, if you have two working parents, you have childcare costs, you have two car payments, you have therapy apparently because people who don't work apparently don't go to therapy. You have $600 in convenience food costs. And he says it would make more sense for you to have a single income and have your wife, your partner, do all of that work. She's not going to need therapy. You don't need a second car, and you will save $4,000 a year. And I see math like this everywhere, and it always varies, like the math that they're adding up, the things they're adding up. But typically, they're comparing the cost of childcare directly to a woman's salary, and they're saying, like, hey, look, after childcare, she's making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Is it really worth it? But this is such short-term thinking, such short-term math when it comes to thinking about what our salaries look like over time, right? Because when we leave the workforce, even for a very short period of time, it has lifetime impact. And when women in particular have children, regardless of whether or not they leave the workforce, their income goes down, right? There's a motherhood penalty. Their wages go down, whereas men have a fatherhood bonus, so their wages go up. But if she leaves the workforce, whether for a short period of time or a long period of time to be a stay-at-home mom, she doesn't just lose out on her immediate earnings, right? She doesn't just lose out on the money she would make in those 3, 5, 10 years. She loses out on lifetime earnings in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. She loses out on Social Security benefits, retirement savings, right? She is also at greater risk of financial insecurity in the future. There's so much risk involved when women leave the workforce, even if just for a short period of time. And so the suggestion that saving $4,000 a year just simply makes better financial sense for a family, it ignores the long-term math. Short term, sure, on paper, you save money, right? But in the long term, you lose money. And in particular, she loses money, right? And so you'll notice that a lot of men are making this kind of content, but you don't see a lot of women making this content because women know. Women know it's not as simple as comparing the cost of childcare to her salary, but also more than that, childcare is a shared family expense. And so we should never, ever compare it to one person's salary over another. That's just simply not how it works.